They drift in our lives, attacking the towers of thought our parents have given us to trust. Seeing the world transform and being born into something unrecognizable, curled into a ball as the thoughts I thought were unbreakable, and even so more unshakable. We start to believe in ourselves and conceive something new. I weaved it in my heart and didn't even grieve the past thoughts that ran deep in my skin. I had nothing up my sleeve, but I achieved and received the clearness of thought. They found me. I may bring upon a cliche, though I want to defray from it and paint a picture so I can portray my soulmates. They're the ones that lead me far from being astray. She agreed with my thoughts and brought me over with hers. Indeed, it proceeded. Moreover, they drove over my insecurities, vanished my lonely thoughts, and banished them to the depths of the sea to be alone to themselves. Because when I cry, they serve me black tea that warms away my tears. If I want to pray, I do, and if I don't, they bring me cabaret. She doesn't haunt me with her thoughts or taunt me about mine. Nothing is nonchalant but meaningful. Soulmates have a certain trait, and it's different for all fates. Relationship creates these kind of dates that mean more than those half-assed relationships. The rates at which support is executed define the trust. I must confess I had my lust and adjusted when they turn out. I discuss my hurt and pain, and I have never felt the cosmic dust spread over me. I haven't come across a common thread with a romantic interest. Sometimes this leads me to a swelled head and wanting nothing more to be beheaded from infatuation or temptation. This isn't some Freud fixation, but a frustration with flirtation. If flirtation is a vocation for some and others have nothing more but starvation from a repeated stagnation. But as I do a calibration of my thoughts and beliefs, I seem to find I'm at odds. I removed my facade and accepted that my theory may be flawed or could be different from the Word of God, but if I'm not asking the questions, then might as well call me a fraud. A question has been arising in my head. As a progression of thought and congestion in my head, I cannot clear it away. I cannot call it an obsession. It isn't there. I thought of an idea like a blood clot. I have got a lot of thought that has encircled my mind. Sex. When does it change from the roots to what we think now? What if you exchange your beliefs with something else? What if there's a strange range of interchanging truths? I have been deranged from my roots of beliefs. Do Christians now hurry on marriage for that baby in the carriage, or is it really for the sex? Is this idea of marriage encourage them to marry just for sex? Take the ferry ticket, marry, and let yourself indulge in the married life. Be a wife and watch your friends cut life with a knife, prying into adventures. They will venture out into a world you will never know, knowing yourself without someone defining yourself. The what-ifs trouble my mind. They double by size, where I think of one being one thing. If I'm involved with a human being, we are committed. Then is my prize sex? What I need to solve and resolve and dissolve my thoughts and doubts is the fact of being committed and not knowing them sexually. Sex is intact. It doesn't stand alone. It isn't only the only factor. It's a chemical reactor, a factor. I have known since forever that I must be in atonement with one another before I act towards sex. For me, it is special. You don't have to be on board. In fact, I won't ignore you or try to restore you. Instead, I want to explore your mind and record your thoughts. I want to listen and learn and earn your trust, because for me, it's a must. I don't want to destroy the spinal cord that might connect you and me for a second, because for me, I want to get married. I don't want to get married for sex. It isn't some institution to flex your religious views. It demands more respect than that. It is a perplexed state of life, and I will debate that till kingdom come. As the days seem to close and drift into something new, I compose myself and avoid decomposing into rational ideas and my parents' extremes. I fight for thinking and keep blinking because I don't want to miss a thing. I do not want to be the one who is sinking in thoughts that are embedded in me. I survive by the people around me. I am not bound to let go of them. My soulmates, till death do us part. Woo. This next one is gonna be hard for me to say, but I'll get through. I walked inside from the cold. She stared at me with bold eyes. I put my coat down to the floor and bore on her hug. My heart was tugging and lugging around in my chest. I expressed my distress and protested my burdens. Daniela held me, and for a minute, I was safe. I requested from God to heal my wounds and scars, to let me for just 1 second stare at the stars and passing cars, to feel no responsibility and let that possibility soar, because then I wanted to feel the flexibility and the mobility of what life can be. So I dropped life at the back door, and I went to the front. I jumped on a plane to Spain. I left the pain and the strain of life in California and Michigan. I derailed from life, and I took a breath. My mom was dead, has been dead, and resting in some bed in the ground. I was drowning in emotions up until I went and left everything I knew. Who knew that a change of a country would clear my head? Tomorrow will be 5 years, and I've survived, and I'm alive, and I survived and thrived because I dived into life with a fight. Though, I miss her hugs, I miss her smell, I miss her yell, I miss the way she cooked and when she took my arm and stroked it. I don't miss every cancerous cell that impelled her life. I don't miss the swelling in her face or her arm. I don't miss getting bad grades because I thought my thoughts only circled around her. I don't miss being on the verge of tears and letting every fear consume me. I miss the way she held me and kissed my cheeks and made me feel that I could do anything. I was 16, and now I'm 21. I was 16 when she died. My mind tried to understand, but it just cried. I'm 21 now and couldn't be happier. I feel like a shiny new penny, taking on grief and taking a brief second just to cry. Then out of a high relief I realize I'm still alive. I have finally learned how to thrive and revive my heart when it skips a beat. I have defeated the concrete wall that stood between me and life. I don't feel entirely complete, but that doesn't put me on the downbeat. So let the choir sing, because I'm 21 and I'm inspired to just live. Thank you.